Good morning. Welcome to the show, Blake.
Good morning, Ray.
How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling good today.
There you are. That's good, mate.
I wasn't last week, but today I'm here.
Oh,
All good.
Well done. Now, Blake, first question I'm going to ask you, are Australians taking advantage of today's low interest rate?
Well, interest rates. Everyone's talking about it, but unfortunately the sad thing is not everyone's taking advantage of it. We recently did a survey of 1,000 people all across Australia, and we found that up to 40% of people never look at refinancing their home loan. That's pretty surprising stats. And even further on top of that, 19% haven't even looked at their interest rate or refinancing, or the money they could save. 19% of people in the last 5 years haven't looked at that.
Wow.
I mean, there's money out there to be saved, and some people aren't taking advantage of interest rates that are the lowest they are in 50 years, over 50 years.
And why is that, do you think? Have they been too busy?
Well, there's a number of reasons, I think, and these three reasons are also, I think, the three biggest mistakes that people can make in thinking that these reasons, are accurate. People need to seek the facts, but people do think that there's too much paperwork involved. It's too hard a job. Put it in the too hard basket and don't look at it. Another reason, I think people don't think that the costs involved outweigh the savings. They think it's going to cost money to move, so it's not worth doing. And a third reason is that they just don't make it a priority.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Now, also, the Greek problem that's happening overseas has got nothing to do with Australia.
Nothing. Well, I'm not an expert on what's happening over in Greece. It doesn't look like a good situation. It's a bit sad for their economy. I mean, when we look at Australian banks, I've heard some of the banks over there are, not faring too well. I mean, we have the strongest banks in the whole world.
Okay.
And these banks, the one thing I can comment on is the banks in Australia are fighting for your business. They're reducing, it's not just the cash rate in Australia that's made interest rates so low, is that the banks are competitive. They're fighting for your business. And if they're not giving you the best interest rate, then you need to talk to your bank and find a better deal, because the banks are wanting your business and they're giving discounts on home loans that have caused today's interest rates to be the lowest that they are.
Okay. Why are their interest rates still so low?
Why are they so low? Well, as I said, it's the market's very competitive. The mortgage market, growth in the mortgage market isn't as big as you'd assume. There's only so much growth per year, approximately about 5% growth. So the banks are really desperate to take as much market share as possible of whatever mortgages are actually out there. So they're becoming more and more competitive. I mean, a couple of years ago, you've got your standard variable rate, and it would have been quite normal to go to a bank and they would give you a 0.2, 20 basis points discount off their standard variable rate, where today banks are offering 1% off their standard variable rate. Now, 5 years ago, if you thought 0.2 was good, and you're still sitting on that good discount today, it's not good today. 1% off the standard variable is what the banks are offering. So that's just making the interest rates even lower that people are paying on their mortgages.
Would you advise listeners that if they want to with a low interest rate, refinance their mortgage?
100%, right?
Okay.
There's, a small reduction on your interest rate. I mean, we're in Sydney. We're living in Sydney. So as we know, the Sydney property market's booming. Sydney prices are high, which means people's mortgages are high too. So just a small difference in someone's interest rate can actually save them thousands and thousands of dollars. And over the life of the loan could be $50,000 to $150,000 in savings just by reviewing their interest rate. Wow. I mean, if I came to you today and said, here's $150,000, would you spend a bit of time and effort and do a bit of research and take that money?
For sure.
Well, and that's all it takes, is just sitting down, looking at the options, the costs of moving, what the savings actually are, and saving that money over your lifetime.
Wow, fascinating. Look, we'll play a track and then come back and talk some more.
Sounds
Is that
good,
okay
Ray?
with you?
Yep.
That's Blake Chandler from Yellow Brick Road, our sponsor on Northside Radio FM 99.3. Now, Blake, how much could someone save by reducing their interest rate, reviewing their home loan?
Ray, as I said before, thousands and thousands of dollars. I met with a client just last week and showed them how over the life of their loan, refinancing could save them $190,000. Now that's $190,000 more that they're going to have at retirement, or years and years that they're going to pay off their mortgage sooner. I was just thinking during that last break, Ray, that it's funny, you hear about people trying to save money on their car insurance and save money on their grocery bills and all these really good things, but they aren't taking action to save money on their biggest life expense that they have, their mortgage. And so that's what I want Australians to do. I want Australians to not to save money on everything, but make the first priority to save money on their biggest expense, which is their mortgage.
That's great. Now, also, why aren't enough people taking advantage of low rates? What's the reason for that?
Well, as I said before, I think they think that it costs too much, that they don't think there are savings to be made, and they think there's too much paperwork involved. Now, we when I meet with a client, we hold their hand. We're the one doing the work and make sure they make the savings, and they just need to come in and just get the facts about whether it's worth moving for them. The costs involved, the savings far outweigh the costs. As I said before, the savings we made are quite big. Now, there are 5 things I think people should do.
Yeah.
Even today, after hearing this message, take action now.
Yeah.
But it's one, talk to your current bank. Ask them for a better deal.
Okay.
And secondly, if they're not willing to give you a better deal, then unfortunately, you need to move banks. We have access to 40 different lenders, so come to an expert where we can shop around for you across 40 different lenders to find the best rate for you and to find those savings. 3 is to take action and move home loans once you know what the savings and costs are, after getting that expert advice. 4 is to make sure that you set up the mortgage with a strategy. How's it going to, with the savings that you make, are you going to pay more into your super? Are you going to reduce the debt quicker? Are you going to put aside some rainy day money? We can talk about savings all that we like, but we need to take hold of those savings and do something with them for our future. So that's what I really think. Step 5 is to put into place a financial plan or a strategy that's going to increase your wealth for your future. So take action on saving money today and put it aside for the future.
One last question. What do you think people should do to save money on their home loan?
There's a couple of things that people can do. We talked about saving on interest rates. They can also make extra repayments once they know their budget. Once they have, we talked about savings before on groceries and home and content insurance and car insurance. We'll take all those savings and put them back onto the loan. Every extra bit of money that you put onto loan can reduce it and save you lots of money with compounding interest. You can look at things like changing repayments to weekly instead of monthly, because that's more and more repayments going into the loan more often, and that also saves money on the mortgage. And then there's other things like making sure you're on principal interest instead of interest-only repayments if you want to reduce the debt, if that's the right strategy for you. So there's a whole range of things people can do to save money on their mortgage, and it's important that they take action today and look at their interest rate and what their strategy is around that.
Beautiful, Blake. They also can refinance their credit cards as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's another strategy, is consolidating debt. Well, credit card debt's at 20%. Well, why not use your home loan, pay off your credit card? Your home loans are, if you're paying more than, I think, 4.5%, you're paying too much today. Well, imagine your credit card debt also under 4.5%, and instead pay off your mortgage quicker than paying off your credit card over a long time.
I was reading somewhere the other day the country's credit card debt is something like 20 billion, is it?
Oh, that's crazy.
30 billion? Oh, wow.
Yeah, exactly. I think people just... if I can say one thing again, take action today. Look at your finances, pull out those bills, pull out those statements, look at what the rate is. Unfortunately, Ray, people don't even know what their interest rate is. Look at it and make sure it's good for you.
Okay. Our sponsor, Blake Chandler from Yellow Brick Road. Once again, that number, Blake, how can they get in touch with you?
They can call me on 0402 000 927 or email blake.chandler@ybr.com.au. yellowbrickroad.com.au.
Thank you very much, Blake. Our sponsor on Northside Radio FM 99.3, Yellow Brick Road at 27 to 10.
Have you been thinking about refinancing your home loan so you can afford the odd holiday? You're just not sure if there is a suitable option. Why not speak to our experts at Yellow Brick Road? Learn how to spend less on your home loan and more on your investment dreams. Talk to our sponsor, Yellow Brick Road. Phone today, 1300 275 420 and speak to Blake Chandler or his local team. yellowbrickroad.com.au. Fees and charges may be payable. ACL 393195, AFSL 323825.